Hello and welcome to yet another question on Spring interview questions. We are discussing question 2, and in this we have this question in which basically we have an employee service having a method which returns welcome to string, and this employee service class is annotated with @service, and the scope is defined as prototype using @scope annotation. And there is a REST controller in which we are injecting that employee service using auto-add annotation, and this API method is calling a method of that employee service. The question here is how many objects of employee service are created if that API welcome API is called 50 times. Since this is a prototype scope bin, so how many bins are created if the API is called 50 times? That's the question. So you can pause this video, you can look at the code, understand and comment your answer, and then you can watch this video further. So the answer to this question is there will only be one bin which is created because of the fact that this auto add is written only once. So a lot of people get confused with this scope, prototype and auto wiring. So remember, it is not based on how many times you call a method from that service or that bin, but how many times this bin is called for, or how many times this container is injecting the bins, or how many times the container is getting a request for injecting that bin. So in this case, your container is getting only one request for injecting the bin, which is here. That is why there will only be one bin which is created even though the scope is prototype, because it is getting called only once. Though the methods are getting called multiple times, but object creation will happen only once. Let us understand. Let me show you this with the demo. So I already have this application here in which what I will be doing is very quickly I will create that service class. But before that, let's follow the standards. I'll create a interface, employee service, and this I will have one method here, public string a method. Okay, and then this interface I will be implementing into employee service IMPL class. And let me first of all implement this interface, employee service, and override that method. Instead of returning returning null, I will return a string message slash API slash welcome, and let me, yeah, and then sorry, let me just return welcome message, welcome to Spring Framework. All right, and then this I will annotate with @service notation, and I will also add @scope, which is prototype. We have to make sure that the spelling is correct. All right, now let me create a controller quickly to test this. Dot controllers, and we will create an employee controller, and here we'll be adding a REST controller and making it very simple. So private employee service and provide. All right, and then I will add an API method. So public string API method return service dot a method, and this I will annotate with @get mapping annotation, in which I will write this URL. So that's my code. Now how do I see whether I mean how many objects are created? And for that I will create a default constructor here. All right, and in which I will put a system.println statement, employee being is created. Let's see how many times this you get this message, because whenever the bin is created, employee service constructor is called, and then it will print this message. Let me run this application. And let's see. Yeah, so it has started the Tomcat on 8080. Let's go straight to this http://localhost 8080 slash API slash welcome. So I'm calling it for the first time. Then I will refresh again, refresh again, refresh again. I'm calling it multiple times. So let's see the console. And if you see the console, it has created the object only once, and that too when it was injecting the dependency. When this controller was being created, it found that there is a dependency employee service, and then that has to be injected. So at the time of creating the controller bin itself, it injected that dependency, and no further object is created because we are asking for that bin only once. But then how that prototype works? So prototype works basically if you write that auto add in multiple places, and so their different objects are called. So or for example, you are creating an application context object, and then you are calling context.getBin, and you're calling that method multiple times. So for example, here employee service dot class. Okay, so this getBin I'm calling it once, then I'm calling it again, I'm calling it again, I'm calling it again. So this way, 4 times that object that bin is created in case of prototypes. Alright, so I hope you understood this concept. So thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.